How President Vladimir Putin travels. Russian President Vladimir Putin uses several special vehicles to move between appointments in the air and at sea as well as on land. A fleet of limousines, planes, and watercraft are kept at the ready for the needs of the Russian president and his entourage. The presidential limousines must include an armored salon, an emergency run system which gives the car the ability to move for at least 18 miles at a speed of 50 miles per hour, even if all four tires have been shot out, as well as an air quality control system and other amenities. But his presidential jet will shock you to the bones. That's why in this video, we want to take a look at how President Vladimir Putin travels. Let's get it on. The Russian head of state often travels in a Mercedes Maybach S600 Pullman limousine. The Federal Security Service (FSS) register lists 11 such vehicles in the presidential pool. All the cars are operated by a special FSS unit, the GON, or Special Purpose Garage. The unit was established in 1921 when the Council of People's Commissars issued an order to allocate several cars to serve Lenin's family. Candidates for the position of presidential driver are put through an extensive battery of psychological tests and training in driving under extreme conditions. The process of becoming one of the president's drivers is long. Candidates must first work for several years in the FSS operational division, followed by several years as a driver of one of the presidential escort vehicles. After that, candidates can compete to drive for the president or the prime minister. The process takes between 7 and 15 years on average. There are more than 10 presidential drivers, and even after attaining this position, they have to continue training. At least once a week, each driver must go through a training session. Mandatory training exercises include shooting while driving and driving on a training simulator that simulates ice, a water barrier, and an explosion. In October 2012, the Kremlin's Tenitsky Garden was equipped with a helipad for Putin, who flies exclusively on Russian Mi-8 helicopters. Putin was not the first president to land on a helipad in the Kremlin. President Boris Yeltsin's helicopters landed on Ivanovo Square, but it was determined that the vibrations made by the helicopters could damage the Kremlin's historic buildings, so the helipad was moved. There is an entire flight group under the auspices of the Presidential Affairs Administration. The group provides transportation to the president, prime minister, foreign minister, speaker of the State Duma, other top officials, and the Russian patriarch. The journalists of the Kremlin and the Prime Minister's pools, members of their delegations, employees of the press service, and protocol officers are also transported by the group. The fleet includes IL-96-300 and Tu-214 planes. Soon these will be supplemented with a pair of Sukhoi Superjet 100s. The group also maintains a special plane equipped with special communications systems that allow the president to negotiate and manage the nuclear forces of Russia in an encrypted mode. The unit is based at the Vnukovo 2 airport. Since 1996, the main presidential plane has been a much modified version of the IL-96 passenger plane. While in flight, the head of state can contact any agency or institution. He can also conduct international calls or conference calls. Additionally, the plane includes the capabilities necessary for the president to act as the supreme commander of the armed forces, although so far this has not been necessary. For traveling by water, the assets of the Presidential Affairs Administration include 3 ships, 7 boats, and 1 sailing catamaran. When Putin inspected the sunken Byzantine ship at the bottom of the Black Sea, he traveled by Bath Escape, but this vessel belonged to the Russian Geographical Society. Back in 2021, the world was given another glimpse of Vladimir Putin's $716 million flying Kremlin jet as it touched down in Switzerland ahead of its crunch talks with U.S. counterpart Joe Biden. But it's what's inside the lavish presidential jet that's even more impressive. They include a full gym complete with treadmills, weightlifting setup and boxing bag, and a bathroom with a gold-plated toilet. Other luxurious trappings on Putin's private Ilyushin IL-96-300 PU are a bar fully stocked with top-shelf whiskeys and wines and a bedroom featuring a king-sized bed. The interior decor has a neoclassical style featuring luxurious white leather, and the huge conference table is gold-trimmed. The Russian coat of arms is embossed on many of the walls and furniture pieces. Putin is reported to have clocked up more air miles in high office than all other Russian leaders put together. The presidential jet, which was made by the Voronezh Aircraft Production Association, is capable of hitting speeds of up to 900 kilometers per hour. It is equipped with an advanced communication system that allows it to act as a management center capable of commanding troops during combat. Il-96 aircraft has been a preferred model for flying Russian presidents, with former leader Boris Yeltsin also flying on them. It's believed that Putin has a squad of 4 Il-96 planes to choose from for security reasons. As soon as knowledge of an international flight is public, all 4 aircraft are readied for departure, but the specific plane to be used by Putin is not known until takeoff. After the choice is made, either one or all 3 of the remaining planes follow the president as the reserve. The lavish fleet has attracted criticism from Russian citizens, especially after photos of the president's planes were leaked on the internet in 2015. But should we expect anything less when it comes to the Kremlin leader? The sheer size of the Snow White airliner demands respect. Its length reaches almost 65 meters and the wingspan exceeds 65 meters. The differences between the technical characteristics of the Il-96 300PU and the basic passenger model are minimal. Like the original, the maximum takeoff mass of the presidential aircraft is around 270 tons, and the maximum cruising speed tops out at 900 kilometers per hour. The service ceiling of the aircraft is 12,000 meters. However, modifications have been made to the maximum flight length without refueling. Putin's Il-96 300PU has a significantly longer range than the standard model. And while the exterior of the aircraft looks largely the same as the basic model, the cabin is lavishly decorated with tapestries and gold accents. As we have mentioned, the furniture and interior decor are finished in the neoclassical style. The current interior design was completed according to the sketches of Ivan Glazunov, the son of revered Russian artist Ilya Glazunov. Of course, an airliner as large as the Il-96 300PU requires superior security. This coverage is provided by the pilots of the Russian Aerospace Forces Special Squad, both inside and outside of Russian territory. Putin's personal aircraft has several layers of protection against potential attacks from land or the air. The aircraft's body has a special coating that makes the plane less visible to RCS, an automated system of jamming and disorienting radars, as well as its own anti-aircraft defense system. Further details on the plane's security are a state secret protected by the Federal Security Service. In total, the Air Squad's fleet comprises 68 airplanes. 64 of them are utilized, while the remaining 4 are stored. And just when you thought that is weird enough, now hear this. The bodyguards of the Russian president collect his fecal matter and urine when he is abroad to dispose off in Moscow, a report said. This is done out of fear that leaving the excrement behind could reveal too much information about his health should it fall into the wrong hands. This bizarre claim was first reported in the French news magazine Paris Match by 2 veteran investigative journalists. Other media outlets, too, followed it up and spoke to experts about it. The French publication also revealed that a special aide from Russia's Federal Guard Service carries a suitcase in which Putin's fecal matter is collected and sent back to Moscow. His private jets aside, Putin also likes to travel using his state helicopters. But believe it when I say they're not your ordinary takeoff and fly machines. Russia's equivalent to Marine One is an updated version of the tried and true Russian rotary wing workhorse, the MIL helicopter plant's Mi-8 HIP. The Mi-8's bulbous silhouette, along with its cousin, the Mi-24 Hind's more menacing shape, were icons of the Cold War. Yet, many decades after their original introduction, these capable and comparatively simple machines continue to be produced in dozens of formats for air arms around the world. In fact, well over 17,000 HIPs have been built, making it the most prevalent helicopter on Earth. Even Afghanistan, a country that once fell victim to these helicopters' deadly capabilities, continues to operate updated versions instead of their more complex Western counterparts, such as the UH-60 Black Hawk, and not without controversy. Fast forward decades later, and the Mi-8 in the form of the updated Mi-8M and Mi-17 model continues to be the transport helicopter of choice for the Russian military. Even though Russia could purchase high-end medium or heavy twin-engine or tri-engine helicopters from Western manufacturers, the Mi-8 retains the most sensitive flying job in all of Russia, moving President Putin from one location to another. Currently, Russia's fleet of executive choppers is primarily operated by Russia Airlines. The same goes for the rest of Russia's head of state transport fleet. This inventory includes nearly 40 aircraft, ranging from the quad-motored Air Force One equivalent, the IL-96, to a pair of newly acquired Falcon 7X long-range business jets capable of short-field operations. Although Vlad still likes the old-school Mi-8 for his point-to-point transportation needs and now for his morning commute as well, that does not mean he is roughing it by any means. The size of the presidential Mi-8 fleet is unclear, although at least two exist wearing the gray, red, and blue color scheme. Additionally, a similarly equipped version in full Russian glossy green camouflage has been pictured, which may be an army executive transport. From time to time, President Putin also uses an executive Mi-8 with blue stripes that appear to be operated by the Russian airline Aeroflot. There you have it! On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Putin's travel security? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of our luxurious content. And why not click on another video showing now? This is The Luxurious. Talk to you in the next video.